Hey, Brian, Phil.
Hi, Deb Murray.
We're currently sitting here in Keller Williams Riverside in Riverside, California,
Absolutely.
and you wanted to interview me about building teams.
Well, I actually wanted to ask you some stuff. You know, the new issue of the Outfront magazine came out today.
Yeah, it did. It was all about building teams. And, I'm currently working with a lot of agents here in the office helping them build their teams.
Absolutely. And, I was actually reading some stuff in here, and they had this whole section on myths. And when I was reading it, it actually got me to think about a few things. And I thought, well, who better to ask than Deb, professional on building teams. So if you don't mind, I'd love to ask you a few of these if you're okay with that.
I'm good.
Awesome. So one of the things that it's four myths about building a powerful buyer's team debunked. That's what the article is. And it says myth number one. Myth number one is you need more leads. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, first of all, the team has to have enough leads to sustain the initial person that's, first of all, them.
The rainmaker.
The rainmaker. They have to have enough leads to sustain them. And then whenever you've got more business than what you can handle, then you bring on additional team members. Now, one of the big things that plays a part in lead management is your conversion ratios.
That's funny that you said that because it says truth. You need to improve your conversion ratios. So tell me about that.
Well, in a lot of teams, what I see is that the conversion ratio is about 2 to 1. So that means that for every 2 leads they get, they convert 1 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it goes all the way to a closing process.
Wow. So how do you fix something like that?
I think it's a scripts issue. I think it's absolutely a scripts issue. This 2 weeks ago, I taught this class on showing assistants, and it was to help teams that are trying to build teams start out with licensed showing assistants as opposed to utilizing a buyer specialist. And showing assistants are a great way to build leverage into your team. And it was a great class. It was 2 half-day classes, and then we met out in the field on Saturday morning. And you were there, and we actually
out in the field
and taught them how to show houses and taught them how to close. So I think it's a scripts issue more than anything.
Very cool. And it actually talks about showing specialists later, but I'll get back into that in a second. The second myth that it gives is my clients. And you hear a lot of agents say this all the time, especially those D personalities that take control over their business, and they say, my clients only want to work with me. That's the myth. And the truth is, your clients aren't loyal to you. They're only loyal to the level of service that you provide. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I absolutely agree. I think if you teach your clients how you work, and if they completely understand that you have a buyer specialist on your team, and one of the greatest stories that I've ever heard, I heard Gene Rivers, and at the time I think Gene was closing a little over 300 transactions a year, and he hired a listing specialist on his team. And the customer, whenever he sent the listing specialist out, now mind you, Gene had trained this person. He had walked them through exactly how he wanted the listing presentation to go down. And he picked up the phone and he called the client. He said, look, this is how I work. If once she gets over there and you're not completely satisfied with the service, I want you to pick up the phone and call me, and I'll come right over.
Wow.
And guess what happened? The customer never called Gene.
Wow.
Yeah, I think this time is like that time. As long as the buyer specialists are trained to your standards, I think that if you just tell the public how you work, I think it'll be fine.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So the third one, it says, third myth is a talented buyer's agent will leave to start their own team. And you hear that a lot with teams that are worried, well, I don't want to start someone. I'm going to train them. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to give them all these leads. I'll teach them what I know, and then they'll leave. And it says that the truth is that most talented buyer's agents will only leave if they don't see you as a vehicle for their success.
Yeah, I think that whenever you help enough people get what they want, the natural byproduct of that is that you get what you want. And so I think that you just have to constantly be leading the agent and leading the team and making sure that you're helping them find opportunity. And as long as you're opening doors for people on your team, they'll never leave you. And you build enough value proposition into the team, they'll never leave you. They'll be there forever.
So it's a leadership issue.
It's a big leadership issue. Great point.
Well, the fourth one it gives is you need a lot of buyers. You need a lot of buyers agents. That's the myth. And the truth it says is you need the right buyers.
It's all about
agent.
talent. It is all about talent. I think that whenever we hire out of disparity or we hire because of pain and we don't go through the process to go out there and find rock stars, I think we get what we focus on. And by the way, Gary Keller says you also get what you don't focus on.
Absolutely.
And I think that I don't think you need a lot of buyer specialists. I think you just need somebody that can hit it out of the ballpark and then create enough opportunity for them that they don't ever want to leave you. It is, I think for us, obviously I don't produce any longer. I'm a team leader, and at Keller Williams I'm not allowed to produce.
Right.
But I have to tell you that whenever I was in production, it was all about finding the right people and putting the right people on your bus, and then making sure that the people that are on the bus are in the right seats. And for me, I always went and hired above me because that talent pulled my team forward.
Wow.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was a great experience.
Well, it dips into that a little bit more. It says the right person, exactly what you're saying. The right person wants more skin in the game. A showing assistant, for instance, should be the future-minded and aspire to move into a buyer specialist position, which is exactly what you were talking about. How does that work?
Well, what happens is that the showing assistant, I have a licensed certification program for showing assistants for licensed agents, and what we do is that we have a pool of showing assistants in this office that any agent in the office can pull from that pool. And what happens is that the showing assistant charges a referral fee to go out and show houses. And boy, that really frees up our producer. It's such a great value proposition for our producers.
And the producer, then, the rainmaker in this instance, that person is not managing these showing
No,
specialists,
no,
so their
no.
focus is still just on
Production.
making it rain and buyer's agent. That's it.
Yeah, and showing assistant, yeah. So I'm really excited that you invited me over to interview me. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you coming down. So if I wanted to learn more about this, or any agents watching wanted to learn more about this, how could they get more information on building a big team, especially if I'm at a place right now where I'm stuck and I want to hit the next level? What would be the next step?
Well, I think the best thing to do is to call me, 951-776-5710, and just let me know that you want to get on my calendar. And, my coaching is free. I don't ever charge for my coaching. There's a myth understanding out there with a lot of...
myth.
Yeah, there's a lot of myths out there, and there's a myth understanding out there that Keller Williams in-house that we charge for coaching, and I don't charge for coaching. And my agents, that's one of the big value propositions that our agents get is that they get one-on-one coaching with me on a weekly basis. So
It's quite a value.
well, that's all the time we've got today.
Thanks for your time, Desmond.
Thank you. See you soon, guys. Bye.